Hi, I'm Jane King, and this is New to the Street, in person back here at the NASDAQ market site in New York City. This show is all about public, private blockchain companies, the CEOs, the founders, and the innovators, bringing you lots of opportunities to consider. Here we go.
Essentially what's happened is that we, a couple of decades ago, made a discovery around the capacity to trigger a biological reaction that manufactures water. So let me give you a bit of an example of what I mean by that. Just imagine for an instant that we're in a gigantic scientific terrarium on this planet. It's a solar-powered terrarium that operates all of its own systems to produce its own feed, its own food, and its own fuel. It makes everything for itself. Solar panels are pretty topical around the world right now. One thing we know about solar panels is that they work when the sun's shining. And there's an intermittent capture of energy, and the intermittent capture of energy needs some kind of a backup battery. Somewhere in the system you need some kind of a battery that stores the energy so you can draw down on it at other times. Well, it's not so hard to imagine the green plants of the planet having solar panels and capturing sunlight. We know they make carbohydrates, so they make the feed, the fuel that feeds the animals and the plants and everything else in the system, doing that. We've had that understanding for some time. But what we did was to look at that system in total and say, well, it looks like it's running down. It looks like it's not getting enough energy because the capacity to produce the food, especially for the humans on the planet, seems to be declining. Simultaneously, there seems to be areas that are becoming drier around the planet. I don't think there's really any question that that's happening. Forgetting why, the fact is that it's happening. So what that said to us was that the solar panels are not really getting enough energy for the production of the system in total, or the drawdown on the batteries. Now, when we looked at that pretty closely, logically speaking, the green plants during the day capture the carbon they need. They make carbohydrates, and then later on in the system, as if we can look at it that way and look over a few million years, they actually become the basis for the hydrocarbons that we later draw down on. So the food and the fuel are both coming from there. But at night time, they actually contribute negatively to that. They actually draw down on the system. So the fact that that can survive, a system based like that, means that somewhere else there must be a storage of energy on which that whole system is drawing in other times. We look for that. Imagine that in that system, there's a whole kingdom that we've not really focused on, a whole kingdom that's resident in every soil, in every body of water, in the atmosphere, everywhere, and that kingdom draws energy in the same way. It has a different set of solar panels, but it still draws energy from the sun. It still draws energy the same way, captures that energy, manufactures more of the carbohydrates that are necessary in the whole system, but as an amazing byproduct that it also manufactures water. Imagine that there's a kingdom on this planet that is able to oxidize hydrogen during its operation, and from that oxidized hydrogen manufacture water from first principles in a soil environment anywhere on the planet. Now, if I tell you that that kingdom doesn't need the light that plants need, so it's not limited by the night and day cycle and can operate 24 hours a day, and that in fact that kingdom is creating what we believe is the world's most important battery, and that's water. moisture in a soil, moisture, water in a collected body of water is an amazing storehouse of energy. And I don't mean that just as energy that can be stored once the water is made. I mean that as energy that is ensconced in the water when the water is made. There is a biological reaction that manufactures water while doing energy capture, solar-powered hydrogen mechanism built into the soil profile. We've spent 35 years making friends with that system. If you want to increase carbon sequestration in plants, meaning surface ground cover and all of that mechanism which would increase the drawdown of atmospheric carbon, then you're going to need water in the soil profile to do it. The way that we manage that, the way that we get to that point, is that we use organic material that's collected from the region, and we incubate a catalyst in that organic material. So that can be anything. That can be trees, that can be sewage waste, it can be any kind of food waste, and we incubate the catalysts for this, the triggers for this reaction in the soil, in that organic material, and then apply it as a catalyst to the soil to stimulate that water manufacture downstream.
Tell us about the recent pilot you ran in Aqaba.
Having said that you can oxidise hydrogen, that's a pretty fantastic thing. What it means in a practical sense is incredibly relevant to Jordan and to other areas that have a depleted water supply. So what we did recently was to just give a field demonstration of the real power of the triggered capacity that I'm talking about. When there is a trigger of the natural reaction that's already present in the soil, which allows a replicated, self-growing biological reaction to work a bit faster and make a bit more water. Without water, you can't grow anything in terms of plants. So we tested both under an irrigated circumstance and then turned the irrigators off. What would happen to the grass? What would happen in the environment if we're triggering this reaction? What would happen when there wasn't any irrigation and the surface temperatures were huge? In short, we were able to see grass grow even when it wasn't irrigated in incredibly high surface temperatures. We saw, at least for a short period of time, we saw that reaction happen. We measured the soil moisture and saw a significant difference, like for like, side by side, in different areas where there was more water in the area where that reaction had been stimulated than there was in side by side without it. You can have a little more water between times when the heavens provide the water. If you can have a little more, you can do a whole lot more. A companion to the issue of managing hydrogen such that you're making water is that you're also managing hydrogen that might be involved in other issues in the soil. Salinity, sodic alkali soils is one of those issues where the hydrogen is not really available for a period of time, and therefore the soil becomes less and less fertile. What we saw, which is incredibly encouraging for this region, is that it is possible triggering that reaction, which is, as I said, oxidizing hydrogen. Clearly, that reaction is also able to source hydrogen, and by doing that can impact positively on the sodic alkali capacity and also of the salinity of the soil. So that was a very encouraging outcome, and we're looking to see how that can be deployed further.
Ventures is a publicly traded early-stage natural resource company that is engaged in the acquisition, exploration, and, if warranted, development of those resources. And with me is the CEO, Brody Sutherland, to share with us about Tocvan. So great to have you here, and tell us about the company.
Yeah, thanks, Jane, for having us. And, you know, really, we're a gold, silver exploration and development company. What we look to do is acquire assets that have a history behind them in terms of finding significant mineralization of this regard, gold and silver, taking that asset and going back and proving it up and turning it into a mineable resource. And that's our focus. We've started with one project in Sonora, Mexico, which has been very successful over the last couple of years. And we've now acquired another asset in Sonora. And, you know, our model is to take these projects that have had that past history, but just didn't have the right team or not the right timing to go all the way, and take those and start to advance them towards production. And we think we've got a quality team that can get this done and create more value for our shareholders.
Now, you're headquartered in Canada, right?
That's right.
But you just mentioned you're doing business in Mexico. Where all do you operate?
Right now we're focused 100% on Sonora, Mexico. So this is a state that's just south of Arizona. It has excellent infrastructure. It's really built around mining. It's very established. You've got companies like Fresnillo, Agnico Eagle, Cisco that have all set roots in that state. And because of that long history of mining, it means that there's excellent people that understand how to advance these projects. And that's been essential for us, is to acquire a team in that region that really understands it inside and out. And it's been, you know, the most important thing for us. So we've got Rodrigo Calles Montillo. He's our chief geologist there. He's got over 30 years experience in that region. He's worked globally for big companies like Rio Tinto, Kennecott, and he's built a team around him in Sonora. And it's that team that's allowed us to be successful. And we're really proud of the fact that our entire technical team comes from Sonora. And again, it's a quality jurisdiction, very accessible. You can drive to a lot of our project sites. Because of that, very low cost to operate, and that's essential as we move things forward towards production. You need that low cost in order to hedge against a very volatile commodity price market that we are experiencing currently. But we think this is definitely the place to be to become a near-term producer.
Okay, thanks so much, Brody, for coming in. Thank you.
Thanks, Shane.
Keeping your four-legged friends healthy can certainly be a challenge, especially with painful joint diseases like osteoarthritis. If you see a change in your animal's mobility, contact your veterinarian and don't wait. Today, veterinarians have a new tool against joint disease. Introducing Spring with OsteoCushion technology. The natural-derived product has the ability to help your animal move more freely. Put the spring back in their lives for a longer, happier life.
With me is new to the streets Hunter Gaylor, who also does hunting opportunities to consider, where you're looking for like different kind of companies, right? And you brought quantum computing to new to the streets.
That's right.
Tell me how that all happened. How did that computing?
Well, when I sat down with Bob and I was talking with him and really kind of understanding where they see it going, because they're the ones in the business.
Right.
They're the ones creating. They're on the front lines. Mm-hmm. I think it's creating the democratization of being able to solve problems at a much more rapid pace.
Yeah.
We really haven't had that before. But now that we have something that's more tangible, people like you and I will be able to, have access to devices now that can solve problems. I mean, look at the technology in an iPhone today is more advanced than the space shuttle when we went to the moon. So you think about how technology is getting smaller and smaller and smaller and more affordable. And now with this chip that they have. I mean, it's really going to be remarkable to see where this goes. So I think we're going to see it very close. I mean, when I spoke with some of the leadership and learned about what they were doing more in depth, I think we're very close. I think we're very close, just based on my conversations.
Quantum computing is a leader in accessible, full-stack quantum solutions with the potential to change a lot of different industries. With me is Robert Laskowski, the CEO of Quantum Computing. So great to have you here. And let's just, I guess, explain the rationale for the company. Just give me an overview of the company, what it is you're doing, and then we'll dig a little deeper in.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great story, right? Quantum computing as an industry, you know, and you may not know this, but I mean, it's really the next generation of computing, right? Today, everything we're doing is classical computing, right? All the things we see, even the supercomputing that are based upon classical computing systems. Quantum computing as a domain is going to take really the next evolution of computing technology to do things that people are just dreaming about doing in terms of artificial intelligence, all sorts of different applications, everything from autonomous driving to new drug development, a whole spectrum. All will be enabled by quantum computing.
Yeah.
So QCI, Quantum Computing Inc., got into this industry about 5 years ago. We started up as a software development company, and the goal then was to really connect end users, non-quantum experts, to quantum computers. In the early stages, and even today, you have to be, you know, a really disciplined programmer, a quantum programmer, to be able to access a quantum computer. So we developed a software stack that allowed any, you know, business user or really technologically savvy business user to be able to run a problem on a quantum computer. And we were agnostic to the quantum industry. So we'd run on a D-Wave, an IonQ, et cetera. But we've recently changed, and we've evolved into what we'll call a quantum ecosystem, where we offer everything from software to hardware and some additional quantum-enabled technologies.
Absolutely fascinating. Thank you so much, Robert, for coming. Thanks.
Keeping your four-legged friends healthy can certainly be a challenge, especially with painful joint diseases like osteoarthritis. If you see a change in your animal's mobility, contact your veterinarian and don't wait. Today, veterinarians have a new tool against joint disease. Introducing Spring with OsteoCushion technology. The natural-derived product has the ability to help your animal move more freely. Put the spring back in their lives for a longer, happier life.
OSIS is a Web3 platform that helps other companies tokenize their businesses. And with me is Jalal Ibrahimi, co-founder, and also Chris Goma, co-founder of OSIS as well. So let's just start with the question, who are you? What are you doing exactly? Who wants to take that?
Sure, yeah. So my name is Jalal Ibrahimi, and thank you so much for having us on the show. Co-founder, of course. My background is in finance, accounting. I'm more of like the business financial side of the company. And then my partner here is Chris Goma.
Yeah. Okay, Chris, and what do you do at the company?
Well, came up with the idea with Jalal, realized that there's this disconnect in traditional finance when it comes to like trust versus verification of assets with money. I was like always talking about this with my dad and my brother, who's more of an economist, and I was like, man, like what's going on with like the world right now? There's all these crashes that go up. There's all these things going on in the world, and why do we have to trust entities that we know don't have our best interest at heart? And then when I was introduced to the blockchain space by Jalal, I saw that there was technology that didn't have to trust anyone to make a transaction that you want to happen through something that you call smart contracts. And that made me excited because I realized I had a thought, and I was like, what if you could tokenize yourself? What if you could make yourself a currency or create your own currencies for whatever? Is that possible? And if you did it through this, would it make things easier? And I realized that the answer was yes. So we wanted to make technology to further benefit that. That's what OSIS is all about. In 5 years to 10 years, maybe 5 years, I see our company, OSIS, being something that could be used by millions of different like institutions, governments, individuals, to the point where our exchange is also one of the largest publicly traded assets on Earth. That's like what we hope for.
Okay.
If we can do this right,
Yeah.
we can follow this.
A little weekend reading.
Yeah.
So, okay, thank you so much for coming and explaining this. Best of luck.
Do your employees use Zoom? Do your employees use Microsoft Teams? Professionals need enhanced security. Add Verify's Defender for the only secure, zero-trust video conferencing protection. Your employees, clients, and patients deserve it.
SEKUR, the true solution for your digital privacy and security. SEKUR is a private and secure messaging and email solution hosted in Switzerland, using proprietary military-grade encryption and Swiss privacy laws, giving you true privacy. SEKUR doesn't collect or sell your data and doesn't require your phone number or any personal data that hackers target. You can message and email non-secure users privately without the need for others to download SEKUR. Visit SEKUR.com. Regain and protect your privacy today.
We're here on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange. Thank you for joining us today.
Thanks, Vanessa, for having me.
So SEKUR is all about, you're the CEO and founder, and SEKUR is all about privacy. It's all about cybersecurity and data protection. Can you tell me about the different products that SEKUR offers?
Sure. So SEKUR is an end-to-end privacy platform for communication. We have a document management tool called SEKUR Suite. That's mostly for businesses, but our star product is SEKUR as a combo, which is SEKUR Mail, which is an email system, and SEKUR Messenger, which is an instant messenger. We offer consumer and business solution. The difference is that with a business, you can upload your domain, you can have your own private domain hosting. And then on the messenger part, we offer archiving, mass onboarding, and so forth. That's kind of a new feature for institutions, bank, governments, etc.
That's really interesting because the SEC fined, I think it was 16 Wall Street firms, and it was all about record-keeping regulation violations because a lot of people who are working were using their own devices, especially when working remotely, and that wasn't secure. So what can SEKUR, the company, do to ensure that messaging and other communication is secure?
Absolutely. And besides security, there's privacy, because sometimes people say, well, you know, so-and-so brand that we all know, the companies, they're secure, but they're secure from off the shelf that can be hacked easily, which are being hacked on a daily basis. And then you have our system and privacy. So that's going to be big. We're launching B2B partnerships. We are launching some other partnerships in Central and Latin America that are already underway. And we're going to launch these new solutions like VPN, voice, and encryption. I think it's going to be very useful.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for coming in and for being here today, Alain, the CEO and founder of SEKUR.
Thanks, Vanessa.
Great information.
Thanks.
SEKUR, the true solution for your digital privacy and security. SEKUR is a private and secure messaging and email solution hosted in Switzerland, using proprietary military-grade encryption and Swiss privacy laws, giving you true privacy. SEKUR doesn't collect or sell your data and doesn't require your phone number or any personal data that hackers target. You can message and email non-secure users privately without the need for others to download SEKUR. Visit SEKUR.com. Regain and protect your privacy today.
Volt was launched in December of 2021 with the purpose of becoming a one-stop shop offering DeFi products while bringing profits back to the native token to support its deflationary purpose. And with me is Pablo Crow, Aussie and Power Right with Volt. And I'll just ask questions. You guys kind of chime in a little bit if you want. So what separates Volt from some other crypto projects?
As an investor myself, Volt was created in the bear market. which a lot of projects are created in the bull market, and they have a little pump, right? And by the time the bear market kicks in, they tend to die. So I believe that getting built in the bear market is the most efficient to go long term. Therefore, it separates us from the rest.
It gives us a lot of time to, especially in a bear market, you have a lot of time to work, a lot of time to build, build, whether it be partnerships, sponsorships, globally, internationally, right? During a bull run, it's very hard to do that because there's a lot of news coming out, there's a lot of information coming out, a lot of investors coming out, so it doesn't give you too much time to act, right? In a bear market, you have a lot of time, you can build, you can reach out to different investors, globally, internationally, right? And building our community. When you mention what separates us from other tokens, it's our community. Having a very strong community to push a vision to a level where our developing team wants to see. So it's been really great for us.
Yeah. And what is the strength of Volt?
I would say the strength of Volt, to me, is really the dynamic and energetic community, right? Since the beginning, that was the main mission, right? The main mission was to create a community that can be compared to the likes of Bitcoin, right? That can be compared to the likes of Ethereum, Shiba, Doge, because all of those great projects, what they had in common is the fact that they had a backing, support, right? Because with crypto, right, you can't really compare it to like a stock, for instance, right? Crypto has to be all community driven, right? Everyone has to be entertained, right? In it completely. So I think that's the best thing about Volt.
We've partnered up with Amazon, Shopify, Shopping.io, so it's been great, yeah, to use in real life.
Thanks so much, guys, for coming in and explaining it. Best of luck.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.